Yes, hello. This is Dr. Noah Erickson from Innovative Family Wellness. Thank you so much for joining me here live tonight. I wanted to present on 3 causes and cures for Stims. First of all, if you like this video, go ahead please and like and share. Hit that button for me and spread the word. All right, I also have something in here, a bonus for you at the end, a 4th cause that's often overlooked, so stay tuned for that. First of all, let's kind of look at this term stimming. It's a term that I hear quite frequently in the office that describes repetitive behaviors that might sort of encompass hands that are moving incessantly. Maybe some people say flapping, toe walking I hear, lining up toys and cars and staring at electronics intensely. Those are some of the things I hear. And there's a lot of what they call eye stims, or we hear verbal stims or tics, right? So number 1 here, maybe the top of my list because it's something interesting, is gut health. And within the gut microbiome, these bugs can create something called ammonia. It can also be triggered from a high protein diet. So when you think about stims, something created in your gut, a chemical, can actually irritate the nerves and cause stimming. So now what goes in that gut? Let's look at number 2. Number 2, what goes in that gut, in the tummy, is food, right? Food's very high in glutamate. So we all know the obvious one, monosodium glutamate. But what about things like artificial colorings and dyes and preservatives and chemicals? We know that that can be a trigger too. So when these certain foodstuffs are broken down, they can release these type of amino acids that can actually overactivate the brain. Well, specifically, there's a chemical out there that a lot of people use, and I use it too, and it's called glutathione. And glutathione often comes in the form of protein sources, say from whey protein, or we can use it and we can build it up with chemicals and substances like N-acetylcysteine. But we forget in a certain state where it's not stabilized, that too can become a stimulant. So looking for glutamates in the diet, right? Colorings, dyes, preservatives. And many people know, of course, there's a famous diet out there where we put kiddos on to help lower their intake levels of glutamates. All right, number 3 here, as we build this list here of the 3 causes and cures. Number 3 is infections. Most of you know this, right? It's infections like PANDAS, pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorder from streptococcal group A, beta hemolytic. So what happens here? There's a cascade of events when your kiddos get these infections, and they may not, I repeat, they may not have the classic sign of sore throat or redness in there, and irritation, and fever, and malaise, and headaches. So they can be carriers of strep and have strep. Well, the immune system activates, sends out antibodies. They kind of misdirect. Instead of getting the tail end of the bacterium, they get the part around your brain. And there's this fence-like material that protects your brain. And unfortunately, strep can upregulate this situation and cause brain inflammation. So we call it neurological inflammation. Believe it or not, there's tests that we run that look at markers of inflammation of the brain. So infections make this list, right? And to top that list off of infections, we know viruses can do it, Lyme disease and Lyme co-infection can do it. So don't just always point the finger at the streptococcal, which is we call PANDAS. There can also be something called PANS. All right, so real quickly, let's take it from the top again. Number 1, what did we say? Gut. We said about ammonia. Number 2, glutamates in the diet, the colorings and preservatives and things. And that diet, of course, is called the Feingold diet. And we take people off those chemicals and substances. And then number 3, these infections. Well, let's look at quick cures for all of them. Number 1, if your body's too high in ammonia, look at changing protein quality and intake. That is something with every customized program I do. I look at the gut microbiome on a stool test, we look at ammonia levels, and we look at down regulating this. Keep in mind, too, there's certain vitamins and minerals and even binding substances that can pull out ammonia. And for those gene gurus out there who follow MTHFR and gene SNPs, there's even some genetics involved in here and a pathway that helps deal with that. All right, number 2, we said glutamates, right? What can you do? Almost every single patient that starts with me, in addition to going on GF and CF, I give you the handout, the MSG containing foods. That includes things like candies and gum and soda pop, and these little chemicals sneak into so many foods, so avoid them in your diet. And I mentioned it before too, might to your surprise probably, that glutathione can be a trigger and these different amino acids in good protein powders. So how many people have taken protein powders and felt jazzy or felt revved up, or you see your kids stimming? Remember, the constituents in amino acids or protein can actually release too many glutamates. And that, by the way, is why a lot of kids don't do real well on collagen protein or blended proteins. And of course, many do, but it's something to watch out for. So that's the cure part, right? Reduction, elimination, take it out of the diet. Number 3, I said infections. Okay, big topic here. Let's go after the infection as well. So what do? If we know these things are causing inflammation, and the chemicals are well defined, like we said, TNF-alpha, NF-kappa B, we know what happens. We control the fire, the inflammation, right? And we want to get the infection too. So herbs and homeopathics and probiotics, there's specific ones for each bug. So as I mentioned before, it can be from streptococcal, from Lyme, from viruses. So we use bug-specific probiotics, and I'll give you a tip here. Always remember to change your probiotics. Rotate them, right? If you've been on the same one for a long time, do something different. Change it up. That's why I carry so many different blends at the office. All right, so here's my bonus one, right? I said 3 causes and cures for Stims, or repetitive behaviors. We said gut, glutamate, and infections. Here's my bonus. And I have to admit, my training in Eastern medicine and my training as a chiropractic physician makes me think this way. It is something called dysautonomia. I always tell people this. Say you have an automatic car and you pop it into drive and it goes down the street. You never worry about shifting your transmission. In a standard, though, you'd have to shift your transmission. Well, your autonomic nervous system should automatically shift from stress to fight or flight, and then it goes into rest and digest, and that's called parasympathetic or calming. But if your body has a misalignment in your spine, creating interference in the nerve pathway, your body doesn't function in a harmonious sense. So the bonus here is chiropractic, and I'm going to throw you one in here too. As a craniosacral therapist, of course, I'm all about the chiropractic in kiddos. It does help a lot of kiddos. Not all of them, but it does help a lot with ear infections and sinusitis. And as I'm mentioning here, regulating the nervous system. But the acupuncture. Guys, if there's one thing that's overlooked, and it's not CBD oil, although I love it and it works great, and it's not the benefits of bone broth, though I love it and works great, and it's not the benefits of different MTHFR gene testing and SNP testing, although I love it and it works great, it is this untapped potential of acupuncture. I'm not sure where it happened. When it comes to adults, and I've been doing acupuncture now for 15 years, many of you know me from the practice I had for years where I was inserting needles out there in Ohio. Well, it's super cool, right? You can ascertain and pull in the benefits of acupuncture by using acupressure and laser. And that's something I do in all my customized programs. The special packages include the points of which you can stimulate to calm your kids. So bonus here, I'll give you one right now. We use this point right here inside the ear all the time. Point right here inside the ear. It's called Shenmen. Shenmen is a master relaxing point in acupuncture, okay? I'll throw one at you too. If your kiddos are nauseous or they just don't feel good or they have gut dysbiosis or food allergies, there's a point right here on the wrist, right down here and right down here. That point, if you ever heard they're called C-bands, right, for nausea, for pregnancy, those points too help for nausea. So anyhow, I had to throw that in there. As I said, with my traditional medicine training there and my background in acupuncture and my background as a chiropractic physician, you got to think a little outside the box when you're talking about Stims. So this Dr. Noah Erickson, I want to thank everyone for joining. And again, if you like this, could you please hit that share button with someone you know, love, family, friends who could benefit from this? Again, if their kiddo is suffering from these conditions of repetitive behavior and stimming, maybe this would have been helpful, and I'd appreciate if you share that. And by the way, everybody, check us out there. The website is Dr. Noah's Ark. That's Dr. and then my name, Noah, N-O-A-H with an S, and Ark is spelled A-R-C, so drnoahsark.com. And check us out too on Facebook. That's Dr. Noah's Ark. So Dr. period, Noah's Ark. Check us out on Facebook, and we'll be bringing you many more of these live. Hope you enjoy this, guys. Really sincerely do, friends. If you have any questions, reach out. There's always the opportunity to become a patient. And two, remember, we do the long-distance consultations and Skype. So everyone, again, thanks for joining. Hope you appreciated this and enjoyed and learned something from it. Take care, everybody. Yours in health, Dr. Noah. Bye.